Welcome back to another video. This will be episode 3. You will see in a moment me working on this last night because I came back out, but I already put together episode 2. So and by the way, these are just raw, unedited, just like straight build at the end. I might put together something nicer, but for now I'm just throwing all the videos together, putting an intro, outro, and uploading it so it's quick and easy. Whether you like it or not. So I'm out here again. I've been running the heater. It is pretty cold, so I don't want to open the doors yet to start doing freaking rust repair and grinding. So that creates a lot of dust. I've had the heater running for a little while, but it's like 15 degrees outside, so it's still a bit chilly out here. So I'm just working on the floor, so it keeps me moving. It doesn't create a lot of fumes or any. Yeah, so once it warms up a little bit and maybe the sun comes out, then I can take the tarp off and work on the hole and get some I need to get some sheet metal today, some clean sheet metal, but I'll go down the road. There's this shop down the road that has a bunch of metal, and if I just tell them what I need and what size I need, they have so much metal, they just find something in a pile of like assortment. I don't know how they do it, but they just find it, they grab it, they cut it, they say, here you go, 20 bucks, or some cheap price, way cheaper than going to Ace or Tractor Supply buying their pre-cut pieces for $50 or whatever. Just like this piece was kind of a rip-off, this repair panel. I thought it was a lot bigger than what it was. It didn't like have dimensions. It's just a floor panel with a bunch of, it's cut out, that's nice, but it doesn't really do me that good. I could have spent $120 on a way bigger piece of sheet metal to cover that area, but that's all right. It gets me closer to what I would have had to done anyways, so it takes out that work. And because I don't know what that floor is supposed to look like, I've never owned these and I couldn't find many reference images, so that helps me out a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on the floor. I did make a little bit of progress. I took off that strip this morning, and I'm pushing this back. But yeah, now you're gonna see last night's content of me getting up to here. So I shouldn't have showed you that shit. So I got the whole center aisle done, and now I'm working on the passenger side. And basically I'm just taking this mini pry bars, just like I was with the bolts, and just prying it up. I don't know if it's a benefit to be doing this in the winter time or not. And sorry for that noise in the background, it's the heater running. But the glue on this, I mean, while it is still sticking to the wood, it's not like super hard to get off if you just give it a gentle pry. But like just trying to yank on it is not really that feasible. It's pretty hard to get off doing it that way, unless it's like just a really weak section. But all of this wood so far seems to be pretty good. At the seams there's like some staining from what has soaked in or gotten through, but it's really not that much. So the wood is very solid and feels pretty good so far. It looks pretty good. So we'll see around the edges. The center is always the best part. It's always around the edges that are problematic. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing this until I get tired or it gets super late. And I got the light going on a little LED. I got the heater going. I got a power strip, so I could use 2 things on 1 extension cord. But I got the heater on low, so because that's a pretty powerful LED light. And again, I don't want to overload the extension cord or the breaker. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this, and eventually I'll show you what the floor looks like whenever I finish this piece. I am beat. This is what we got so far. As additional, I mean, I pulled up this part of the aisle up till that rail, which I gotta figure out if I'm gonna take those out or not. They're almost flush, so I mean, I might be able to just cut them out of the foam board that's gonna go over them, but I turned the heater off because I'm getting too hot because I'm working and I'm like sweating, and you can see the condensation on the window, baby. But yeah, I got the center out, and then this is how far I got in that. I don't want to tear too much towards the wall anymore because although these screws do just pull out of the wood with a pry bar, I'd rather unscrew them to you know, not damage the wood as much as possible. But in this area, which would be a, you know, pretty wet, moist area, as you can tell, there's been some rust there, like all around these stairs, but it still seems to be pretty solid. It is like cold right there, which could mean there is some kind of leak behind this wall towards this area, but the wood looks pretty good. And this being towards the edge, I mean, it makes sense that it's gonna be a little wet, because, you know, just like that edge and that edge, all the edges is where the moisture gets in, right? But overall, the wood looks pretty solid so far, so hopefully all the other corners look the same, and we will be all set on the subfloor. We just put our foam right over top and start framing out whatever we're gonna frame out. But it's a nice little base that we got going. But yeah, I'm gonna officially pack this up for the night, which doesn't require much. I just gotta pull the extension cord in. And yeah, and then I'll take a shower and go to bed. Cause yeah, it's kind of late outside. I've been doing this for a little too long, but it did make me organize the tools, like I said. I think all the tools are in there besides the ones I'm using right now, and the drill, and the ones holding down the tarp to cover that up for now, because I don't want to reinstall all that stuff, just take it back off. So yeah, I'll pack this up, and you guys will see me pick up the rest of this video tomorrow. Just got some metal. The floors, I got up to this back transition, so I got this whole passenger side of the regular flooring off this morning while it was still cold, and then I ran out to go get some supplies. I got a really good deal on some rubberized undercoating by 3M. It was only $2.75 a can. I got a whole case of it, which is 6 cans for like $18 at Advance. It's on clearance right now. So I might be getting more of that depending on how this looks when you apply it. Because shit, I might just undercoat this whole thing while I'm at it if it's that cheap. But I mainly wanted to do that for potentially this floor area here. Just to coat it in something, and as well as underneath after I do all these repairs. You don't want to leave bare metal, so I was going to stick that on everything that I repair, and then potentially the whole outer skirt of the bus. So take down any of the dripping rust look shit, and then put the bed liner or undercoating, rubberized coating on the bottom, so that it's a little more durable and looks better. So yeah, I'm gonna get back into this rust situation. I got another plate to fill in there. I got a bunch of angle iron to fix the steps. But the steps I'm probably not going to do. I might start them, but I'm not going to do them fully until I have the door ready to go in, because I don't want to take these doors out and then not have something to put back in there, right? Because I don't want to put these doors back in. So I'm going to work on the floor, make this thing drivable again. And yeah, let's get cracking on that so we can get this thing back on the road. Here's where we're at. It's a bit of a mess in here because we've got a lot of tools and a lot of parts all over the place, and trash for the from it, just displaced. So as you can see, that looks different. So I cut out I put in my new plate that's going to go further back behind that other one, which is much thicker than the other one too, which I only paid like 60 something bucks for that plate and all this angle iron that I got, which angle iron's pretty cheap, but yeah, it was only 60 something bucks for all the angle iron and the plate. So I put that plate in, I drew it out, I ground down where it's going to weld up, so I got solid metal all around the back end of it, which is, you know, the main part of it that I was trying to get it welded up to. And then so I took a wire brush and the grinder and flap disc and cleaned that up as much as I could, all of that area, and chipped away as much rust as I could, basically. After I cut out section, which you can see a lot more of it's cut out. So all that's pretty solid. I mean, that plate is just kind of fucked, and I'm gonna cover it up, but I want to seal it all up, right? And I'm gonna paint it from underneath too after I put all this top layer stuff on, so that, you know, after I weld it and everything, then I'll do the bottom. But this is rust converter paint stuff, so this should just hopefully seal it all in and prevent it from like eating away too much faster. You know, like maybe in a while it'll continue to rust again, but this will slow the process down a lot more. Right, so I got some panel bond adhesive, like seam sealer, so I'm gonna weld these plates in. I'm gonna seam seal them. I'm gonna also seam seal it in the middle here, so basically adhere it to there, weld around the edges, and keep it cool, and then seam seal that with both of those plates. I'm gonna put a little piece of angle iron in right there, just to kind of bridge that part, and I might put another plate down in there. And I gotta remove that wiring and check down there and see how bad that stuff is. I'm also gonna consider making my own fender liner to put in there, just to protect this area from getting all that slush from that wheel in the future. But as of right now, this needs to dry for 24 hours, they say, in regular temperatures, which, I mean, it's winter time, so this will probably take even longer than 24 hours, but it does seem to be drying up around the edges where I got the heater going on it. So I'm gonna let that do its thing, and I am gonna move on to other areas for now. Like, I might start on these steps. I don't really want to dig into them until I have that door, but I don't know, I have a feeling the guy will hit me up. But I also need to take off this last piece of vinyl right here, and to do that I gotta mess with that light, which I'm sure is hooked up to the outside, which I might find more stuff, but I'm gonna say I'm not gonna find more stuff, because look at that side. That side looks nice and clean. This side's gonna be even cleaner because it's not where the wheel is, right? So I just gotta get that light out of the way, probably, to get this stuff off, because I doubt they cut it around it. So yeah, and then we can start framing up some of this angle iron and potentially weld it up. I gotta grind this down, clean it up, obviously, and we might do that same rust reformer paint. We'll see. See how it's looking. I made a discovery. I'm doing all this work, right? I'm cleaning this up, which I can show you that, I suppose. Oh, stepping on all my work. All right. So I started cleaning up all this rust. What I'm probably gonna do is the same with that over there. I'm gonna clean all this up. This is going to get cut out. I mean, this isn't going to stay. But this area is not as bad. It's still somewhat solid. It just looks like shit because of the water that's been sitting on it. So I'm going to clean all that up, spray it down with that rust converter so that everything is sealed up. And then I'm gonna weld up this frame, and I'm gonna weld it to all of this as well. So it's all gonna be welded in to give it extra structure. And I'm gonna put my insulation and wood over this anyway, so it's all gonna get covered up. But I made a realization that this door doesn't have anything underneath at the bottom either. It's just floating, right? But it's being held up at the top. This one, however, is sitting on that, and it makes it open and close like shit. I had found this extra bolt up in the top there. I don't know if I left the clip in for it in the video, but this door is not floating. I wonder if I can just put this back in there and get it to work. I'm gonna lift this door up, which I'm gonna need to. Oh yeah. All right, look at this seal. All right, the seals are actually interclosed like they're supposed to be. It's nice and sturdy. It's all the way up against the top edge. This door is not rubbing against the bottom. Watch this. It opens up like it's supposed to. I mean, they're a little wobbly, yeah, because there's, you know, nothing holding them on the bottom. They're just hanging, but I readjusted it too, just slightly. But yeah, now they open and close, and I don't have to fuck with it to close it properly. So like I can get in the seat and just shut the door and not look like a jank ass, you know. Sweet. That'll work for now until I get something figured out. I don't like these doors because of the water situation, because those, obviously they let water in at the bottom, and that's what creates this whole problem. And it's angled this way too, which is why that needs to get cut out and redesigned so it's slightly angled down to let the water out. You know, when your shoes leave a little bit of water and it melts, it needs to slide out. And there also needs to be a door seal there to properly weather seal this entire thing. You see the gaps all the way around, but that's also because, you know, this thing is not sitting where it's supposed to be. But it's a lot better now that that is fixed. I found that bolt just sitting there, and I'm glad I figured out where it went, and I didn't throw it away. So that's lovely. That's much better now, but we still gotta fix that problem, which we're gonna keep working on that. Basically, this is what we're looking at. All right, so I got all the angle iron to frame it out, as you can see, which was pretty basic. You just fit it all in there. So once I rust reform everything, cut all that stuff out, I'll leave enough so that I can just hang this stuff on there to weld it up. And I can weld it to these side panels as well, to because they seem like they're all right. But I can trace this out for now, and so that I can grind everything clean for all the weld areas, and then paint all this with the rust reformer, maybe even bed liner too, and then I can weld this up on top. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I don't know if I should attach this to that. Maybe I should just cover all that and weld this up separately. I don't know. We'll decide on that. I think I'm likely to do the rust reformer on most of this stuff, just to make it, just to seal it all up. And then I'll put this frame on top and grind down again where I need to weld this up. And I'll probably just do tacks. I don't know. I'm still deciding on how I'm going to do it. But basically, this will be the frame of it. And if I wanted to get plate like that, I could. I could plate it up. I could, and I wouldn't even have to necessarily weld that. I could just seam seal that on if I wanted to. Or I could weld it and then seam seal it. Because ultimately, I got to use seam sealer to make sure, you know, no moisture comes through the welds. Because I'm not a great, perfect welder. But this is all going to get covered up with my flooring anyways, and an insulation. And that insulation, that foam board, the rigid foam board, is super strong. So I could literally use it as like a piece of flooring, basically, or, you know, a base. but I don't want that, you know, as my base. So I'll probably put a piece of wood, foam, and then my flooring on top. And yeah, I think that'll be good for a good while. So yeah, I'm gonna clean this up some more, do the rust reformer, and cut out some of this other rust. I think I'm gonna leave this wood in there for now because the doors are still here, and I don't have a door replacement yet. But I did get the doors working a lot better, so I'm happy about that. And this bar all fits in with these doors still in place, so I could put this in now and then still pull them out later, and then I can pull that piece of wood out and really clean this all out. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Here's where we are. See, it looks a lot better when it's one color, right? I use this Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer spray, so this makes it a paintable surface. I should probably shut these doors and let it dry. But yeah, so I cleaned it up as much as I could. My drill died, so not as good as I could have, but as much as I could right now. So I cleaned that up and then I sprayed it with that. So yeah, now we need to let this dry. It's gonna take longer than usual because it's cold outside. So I'm gonna shut this all up and let it get warmed up. And then once this all dries, at least to the touch or whatever, we'll put the framing down and start tacking that up. And we'll go from there. Look at that, I can shut it from the outside now. I can't latch it though, but I can fully open and shut it. Holy crap. Oh, I should grab that and do those little corners real quick. Well, that dries as best I can. I put the tarp over, try to retain some of the heat, push it down towards the stairs, so hopefully that dries a little bit quicker. It's supposed to dry for 24 hours before you do anything with it, but you know, I'm in a bit of a rush to get this thing together, and especially, you know, drivable again. So being able to put a seat back in here and not drop the keys, you know, through the car potentially. So I'm gonna remove this wire harness or move it out of the way, and I'm gonna start welding in some more pieces. So I gotta clean up this angle iron that I bought, and it's gonna go right in there, or right across there, and that's just going to be a platform for me to weld these other plates onto, and it's pretty rigid, so if I put weight right there, it'll be able to hold something. Now as for it going into something, we'll see how well that works, but I can at least weld it to this, which is still really solid. It's just that other part, and then we can think about putting a plate in right there. But I'm gonna try to move this bolt's in the way, so I'm gonna cut it off. I got the lower one out, and I think that's all that's holding that in, besides some zip ties and this e-brake line, but we'll get it pulled out of the way. Got the harness moved, and I pushed through some of the stuff and had to undustify it. So this is what we're working with. This is where the step bolts in, at least one side of it. The other side's probably back there. But that all looks pretty clean. So this could be repaired multiple different ways, and I don't know which route I'm gonna go just yet. I mean, the step is still quite sturdy, and this is pretty flat, relatively flat. It's just hard to clean in there. That's the problem. It's hard to grind that down. If I had like a sandblaster, that'd be pretty easy, but I don't. You know, I could do all. I can't do all my sandblaster because I don't have air, compressed air. So that I might do as a fiberglass repair. I might clean that up as best I can, like with wire wheel, and do the rust converter over it, and then fiberglass seal that up with resin and fiberglass on, and hope that does the job. I don't know, we'll decide on that. Let's get this top portion figured out first, because that's more concerning than that down there. That's a smaller hole, and if I wanted to, I could just get, you know, a piece of C-channel and weld that straight in there, and that would be fine. I could cut that right out and put a piece of C-channel. That's what is so easy about, you know, flatter surfaces. If I was doing like body work, like all of this stuff, that's a bit more difficult, but this flat stuff's a little bit more easier to work with. So let's get in. We're putting these plates in and getting that angle iron welded up and getting this whole thing patched up. Got the first piece of angle iron welded in. I think it's gonna go anywhere. It's pretty in there now. It's part of this part. Welded all the way around. I didn't get the back side because that's probably just not gonna happen. And this part is a little crusty. It kept burning through, but I think it'll be good enough for now. Once we put the plates over, it should be all right. So yeah, I'm gonna grind this down and clean it up, and then we'll set the back plate up and make sure the welding area is clean for it. Okay, I took the seam sealer, as I said, and I put it on those beams basically, so they seal those beams to this, so there's not a bunch of ingress there, and it's also an adhesive, so like a paneled adhesive, so that'll be good. There you can see it kind of sticking out at the edges, so I misplaced where that was supposed to go a little bit, but I'll have to redo it anyways. After this is done, I'll have to go around the edges anyways. But now I'm just tacking all the way around, as you can see. And then I'm going to put a bead across, and then I'm going to seam seal this again after I put that plate on up above there, so then I can just seam seal it all at once and I don't have to burn too much seam sealer. So yeah, that bracket's there holding that. And I just used the hammer to kind of level it across there, because it's all pretty flat right there, you know, so, and it's very, very sturdy. It doesn't barely flexes at all, so it's a good plate. It's 1/8 inch, but yeah, I'm gonna finish welding this in. I'm gonna grab that other plate and stick that on top as well. Actually, I might just see where it sits right now and see if it's better to start welding it at all at the same time. But I'd like to probably put a bead across there and grind it down before I put that other plate on. I'll figure it out, but this is where I'm at so far. First plate is welded in and not going anywhere. I just finished the welds on it. I still gotta grind them down, make it look all nice, but not too bad for a flux core welder. And not super well prepped surface, because I am broke and can't afford that many supplies like PPE and all these different cleaners and all this time. So I got that. I will put that other plate on probably tomorrow, because I want to get those steps mocked up and tacked in while I still have some time today. So I'm going to start on that, and then I will finish these floors tomorrow. I just got a bunch of blood marks all over my cracked, dry hands. But we got the stair frame welded up. My back is killing me. I mean, I was already extremely sore when I started today, but look what we got done today. You know, the floor pan is halfway done, or more, and the stairwell is, you know, halfway done or more. Now it's not attached to the bus yet, so I mean, I can still slide it out right now if that light weren't in the way, but we don't need to slide it out right now. We just wanted to get it put together just to see the rigidity of it. You can see, holds up pretty well. I think that'll do just fine. Oh yeah, and from here, if I wanted, I could put, you know, a sheet of metal there, if I wanted to. I could put a piece of wood, or I could put whatever I want over it as another layer. The bottom panel will need something, so I might get another piece of metal like that, and stick that across the bottom. I could also do aluminum and rivet it on. It's really a lot of options, but honestly I think I might just get another 1/8 inch plate, or something maybe a little thicker, and take that piece of wood out and put that across there. But yeah, that frame is all sturdy and everything, and if I wanted to, I can grind around the edges and weld it to the rest of the bus, or I can screw it in if I want. I can do whatever I want, you know. There's so many options of how I can fasten this to the bus to secure it, but the frame of it is done. That's all that matters. So I think I'm gonna clean up now and call it a day. I got some people coming over soon to hang out, so I'm gonna make the bus a little more presentable, and yeah, so we'll go from there. This is where we're gonna end this video today, or this episode. We got the floor almost finished. You know, we got this whole plate in. It's all welded in. It's seam sealed underneath. We got to put the second plate in and wrap things up on that end. We still have to do that bottom part, but that'll be a secondary repair in and of itself. Like the carpet and the seat can go back in once this floor is done, or whatever carpet I plan to make for it. So that's going to get wrapped up. But that's how far we made it today. So very good progress, I would say. And the steps, we have cut out most of the rust at the bottom. There are some really rotted pieces left in there, but they're just kind of there for just for mock-up purposes. They can fall off if they want. We got the frame welded out. This needs to be secured, and we need to put some panels down. I just put that piece of wood back on for the time being. We got part of the floor stripped, so that's how far into that we are. We still have quite a ways with the floor stripping to go, which is not a fun process. Throw that in the bin. And then we got to haul off all the scrap once car's drivable again. We also need to attach my new seat to the seat bracket. I got some angle iron for doing that. So we need to do that as well before the seat goes back in. That's a preference thing, but I want it to happen either way, so it's either now or never, you know, because I'm not going to do it on the road. I'm not going to haul that seat around to go do it later. Still talking to a guy about getting this door. I want to get that replaced, but for now it works much better now that we fixed it. So it opens and closes without hitting any of our new work, and nice and smoothly, not hitting anything. And it seals up too. Look at that. Look at that. And you can't really pull on it either. It's great. That's great. Great news for a temporary fix. So yeah, the boys are headed over. I'm gonna get their thoughts on this. It's not gonna be in the episode though, I don't think. And yeah, that's how far we got today. Huge success. I did clean up a little bit, organize the tools. I put all the flooring that I pulled up so far into the bag along with any of the trash. So it's pretty much sorted, ready for me to get back at it tomorrow. Once again, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, that's awesome. I'm sorry that the content is kind of boring, unless you are really interested on seeing me work through this process of my new 2010 Ford E350 shuttle bus. This is a whole new ballpark for myself. I've never worked on, I mean, I've occasionally touched big trucks, but I've never owned one, so I've never had to do some of the jobs that I'm going to have to do at this point, like the manifolds on this. I've done exhaust manifolds before on other vehicles, some that have been a pain in the ass, but I've never worked on a cab over, so I've never worked through a car onto an engine. It's just something new to me. But we're going to figure it out together. We're going to get it going. I think we made a lot of progress today. Good progress. I'm super stoked on how that floor is coming out because it's looking really good. Like almost good enough that maybe I won't have a problem with it in future inspections. I don't know. I hope not. Because that is something I am concerned about, is if I do go to a state where I have to get this inspected, will it be inspectable? So I need to make it stout, you know, with whatever I do. So I'm trying to make it look clean. I'm happy with how it's coming out so far. Well, tomorrow it should be done. It's gonna be done. It's not should be, it's gonna be done tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Stick around if you want to see some more.